Me? Yeah. Gavin, obviously we saw Kennedy was not in the boot anymore. Do you have a status update for her?
Yeah, she's working closer and closer to returning to the court and being cleared, hopefully by maybe the end of the week for some contact 5-on-5. But at the end of the day, we're not going to push her in terms of there's so much season left, and I know she wants to play this weekend, being a kid from Utah, but sometimes you got to protect your player or the players from themselves sometimes. So, but she's just been working really hard to getting back, and I'm just proud of the way she's attacked it. So when she's ready, but it's getting closer.
And then this is about Brooke. So the last few games, she has had some very good looks, but she hasn't pulled the trigger with the shot. Is that just coaching telling her to maybe look for the other pass, or is it just her still being a freshman and trying to learn the system and stuff?
I think a little bit of both, kind of still being unsure as a freshman. But what Brooke does so well for us is she's able to put pressure on the paint with her dribble penetration, but also being on the road too in Big 12 environments. And as a freshman, both crowds at Baylor and TCU were loud, and they were into the game. So sometimes that's you kind of got to get your first road trip out of the way, and I anticipate her kind of settling in the next couple of weeks.
Kind of along those same lines, just the guard lineup in general with Kennedy, kind of how would you assess how they've done these past couple of weeks? Particularly Maddie. I mean, she's not unfamiliar to being in the starting lineup.
Right. It's, I think it's hard to replace what Kennedy does offensively as well as what she does defensively. She gives us a stability on defense because she's been in so many big games. She usually guards our opponent's best player. Now that's kind of thrown on to Maddie and Inesh. But if we put Inesh not on the point guard, then our opponents are allowed to kind of get into their offensive rhythm a little easier. You put Inesh on a point guard, it kind of can disrupt sometimes their rhythm and their flow. And so without Kennedy, it allows us to kind of pick and choose when we want to do that. So it's kind of been, a double-edged sword. We're hurting offensively because we were lacking her offensive production, but we're also, sometimes struggling on the defensive end because we don't have her stability in terms of what she brings to our defensive end. But overall, it is what it is. I would like to see our freshmen, play a little more confidently and just allowing the offense to create shots for themselves and be fearless. And I think they will. It takes some time.
These next couple weeks, you're not going to leave the state of Utah. You have one road game, but thankfully just, 45 minutes away. Mm-hmm. I mean, how advantageous is that for your team right now to be able to think, finally, there's a little bit of stability. You can be around your own, facility for a couple weeks in a row.
Yeah, we're going to enjoy the next 2 weeks. Today was a lot about ourselves, and you have to take advantage of that when that opportunity presents itself because of the rhythm of our schedule. Our schedule is what it is, so it's our job to just kind of make the most of it. So after we get through this week, next week provides us a few practices where we can really kind of refocus on ourselves, tweak some things here and there as we get ready kind of for that next month, in which February it's a tough month to win, and we have a lot of road games, and we got to have that mentality, and we got to be able to execute our stuff at a high level.
So the last few weeks, it seems like Jenna has kind of she's had some good moments, but there's also been some struggle with her on the court. Has it been just, again, adapting to that Big 12 schedule and that Big 12 level of competition, or what do you attribute to those, lulls she's had in the last few weeks?
I think she's just might be overthinking it. Putting a little bit too much of pressure on herself. We believe 100% in Jenna being able to do what she's done for us over her career, which is establish something inside, which, I chatted with her after practice today, and it was a good sign to see. She was getting a little bit more aggressive, and that's what we need. And then she's just got to, allow the offense. If she has an open three, she can't think about it. Let it fly. And I have the confidence in her that she'll be able to do that. And, again, just don't overthink it and just keep playing, because she really is our anchor, especially on the defensive end as well. And part of that is maybe she hasn't drawn the top players inside, the post player, the top performer, maybe because of stature with the bigs that we did face over the last few weeks. So maybe that kind of disrupted her rhythm as well. But, you know, she'll be ready.
This road trip was tough for you guys. You kind of mentioned that you spent today looking inward and addressing things like that. What are you looking for from your team over the next couple of weeks now that you do get to be home?
I think we need to take advantage of our home crowd, first of all, and allow them to kind of give us some life. We've gotten off to some slow starts, and we're going to try a few different things, you know, maybe setting some things up where our players are all on the same page instead of letting the game come to them in our kind of continuity offense. So there'll be things we as a coaching staff will look at and implement probably starting tomorrow, and hopefully that helps. But I think being home and having that crowd behind you should give us a little bit of life to get off to a good start on Wednesday night.
So you speak about the bigs you've played the last few weeks. How would you assess Maya and Sam's performances against those bigs?
I know it wasn't consistent, so that's the one thing we're striving for. If we do what we're supposed to do over the course of the regular season in the Big 12, we'll probably see one, if not more, of those teams in Big 12 tournament play. So can we learn from that? Can we see what worked well, what didn't? Now we got a taste of the physicality and the skill level of those bigs and be ready to, you know, maybe win a few more of those battles come second time around. So, you know, it was good, and now we've got to just, again, learn to take what worked and move forward with it, and then what didn't work, we've got to be able to make those adjustments.
Okay, cool.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.